Well, I have been trying to get a video put together to try and give you everyone an update, and I'm just tired. So we are going to give you a shortened rough hack video just so that you can be on the same page as we are here, because a lot has happened. We've actually gone through a round of seedlings that have grown and gone, and now the ladies who work here keep bringing seeds and things for me to try and planting. So those are ghost peppers. Well, what they call ghost peppers. They're not. They're just super, super hot. And then another lady brought strawberries. So we will try, because apparently they don't grow here, according to some, but they seem to have leaves. So, and here we have tomatoes, and then in the back over here we have some of the hot peppers that I am trying out. And those are almost ready for replanting. And then here we have more tomatoes. And under here we have onions, asparagus, and some unknown seeds, because this is the third time of me trying to germinate this particular tray, and this time it's working. And here we have a huge tray of onions that are going to be ready for sets shortly. And here we have peppers, jalapenos, bell, and hot. And down here we have beans, bush beans or pinto beans here. So this is actually the second round of planting that I've done. We have a bed in progress. This is the pet cemetery for the property that we're incorporating in, which will have a huge jasmine tree, fragrant jasmine at the top that you can make tea out of, and then mint at the bottom. And then this is the propane that we use for the generator when the power goes out, which is frequent. So we have orange, mango, lime, because that's what they use in most of their cooking here. So we have Mexican limes, which are the taller ones, and Persian limes, which are the shorter ones, depending on what they want to cook with. And underneath all of these crates, because I am, you can see a couple of birds out there, but normally those are completely full of blackbirds that love to hang out there. So we're just doing protection until things can grow and be self-sufficient. And then under here we have beans, bush beans, and onions. Same with that row up there. This whole area in here is bush beans and onions. And then we have more herbs, which is rosemary here. And over here we have oregano, and this is a hibiscus, which grows in Canada indoors. Here it's just a native plant, and they call it Florida Jamaica, and they make a tea out of it. So they wanted a couple of those. This is the first one. They grow quite large, so I'm just debating about where to put the next one. And then under here is more beans and onions. Our mandate was beans, onions, tomatoes, chilies. And then eventually they would like to get chickens back in here so that we can have eggs, and they said that will feed them, and that will feed their neighbors if the food supply dries up. Here we have potatoes, and those are just the little greens that you do see are just weeds that were in the compost. But right over here, there it is. The potatoes are starting to grow. So they eat potatoes, beans, onions, tomatoes, chilies. And this is what the space looks like so far. This wall needs to be finished, sealed, and redone. It isn't finished. and so we can't actually put in the garden bed permanently over on this side until that is finished, because the water will just go into the building, so, and crumble the foundation. But we are working towards, this is our water supply for the garden area, so everything is watered by hand right now, which is fine because there's not a heck of a lot in here. But as things start to grow, that gets filled. Well, I haven't had to fill it again yet, so it's quite large. And then here is my compost that we are using to rot down to put into, right over here, across the way, we are into the composting. So this has actually been almost full twice already, and it has already sunk down. So at the bottom, it should be rotting fairly nicely. There's a nice large toad that lives in there now, and we have space to continue on. And here are my browns that I keep in reserve for putting into the compost. And we are changing the soil. The compost that we're getting currently actually has plastic and insulation in it, so getting our own soil going is actually one of the main good things we can do for the property. And it's about 7 o'clock in the morning. Yep, and here's the property, and the sun is about to come up.